Welcome to my channel today, Boo, Snakes, and More. Today we're going to be reading from the magazine Boys Life, Messengers of Peace. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel. The Star Dunes. A drop of water splashed onto Cruz's forehead. Emmett moaned. Feeling the bead roll down his temple. One more minute. Cruz was drifting off again when another drop tapped him on the bridge of his nose. Okay. His roommate was right. They'd be in big trouble if they were late to class. Cruz yawned, his eyelids fluttering. You win, Emmett. I'm the creamy white ceiling he expected to see was instead a forbidden black hole. Up, he gulped. He remembered now. Cruz was not in his soft, warm bed in cabin 202 on board Orion Explorer Academy's flagship vessel. Not even close. He was huddled at the bottom of a cold, damp cave somewhere outside of Ascaray, Texas. Cruz's neck was tipped back. His head, rather than being cratered in his cloud of a pillow, was awkwardly butted up against unforgiving rock. The last thing he recalled before falling asleep was peering up into the stone wall he had fallen down. Cruz had scanned the void for any hint of light, any sign that help was on the way. He had seen only darkness then and now. Achoo! With the sneeze, Cruz's head snapped forward. A cramp shot through his neck. There's the map of where he was in Turkey. Ow, he yelped, and his cry echoed back to him. Ow, ow, ow. Still Cruz was lucky. His organic synchronization OS band indicated he had suffered only a slight concussion and minor bruises. It could have been worse. Had he landed a few feet to the left, he would have hit solid rock instead of hard-packed dirt. Cruz suddenly sat up. There had been something else, too, before the fall. A jolt. It hadn't come from beneath him, not like an earthquake or a landslide. It was more like pressure, yes. When he'd leaned into the space to look down, Cruz had felt a pressure between his shoulder blades. The fog of uncertainty was beginning to clear. His fall was no accident. He'd been pushed. And there was no doubt in Cruz's mind who was behind it. Nebula. Several weeks ago, he'd received an anonymous note warning him that Nebula spies were out to steal the journal and kill him before he turned 13. Yet Cruz still had the journal safely tucked into the upper left pocket of his jacket, and today was November 29th, his 13th birthday. You're 0 for 2, Nebula, Cruz shouted into the empty cavern. I'm still alive. Alive, I've proudly proclaimed his echo. But for how long? This was not how he planned to spend his birthday. Cruz gazed at his stone prison. It was his own fault. Cruz had broken the two most important rules of exploration. Rule number 1, never go by yourself. Rule number 2, always tell your exploration leader where you're headed. Cruz had done neither of those things. Cruz slid over a bit further to avoid the dripping water, which was now a steady trickle. Listening to the water was making him thirsty. He wished he could put his mouth under the flow, but knew better. The water might contain bacteria, parasites, or chemicals. A powerful rumble came from the pit of his stomach. How long could he survive without food and water? Emmett would likely know the answer to that, probably to the minute. Cruz knew the more genuine one. Without fresh water, he could survive 3 to 4 days. 4 days of sitting here waiting to die. No thanks. Getting on his hands and knees, Cruz began to crawl around the perimeter of the cave. There had to be a way out. 10 minutes later, Cruz was huffing and about to take a break when he realized his shoes were wet. If water was getting in, it had to come from somewhere. This could be a way out. The grotto was quickly beginning to fill. Cruz had to get to higher ground. Fortunately, Orion Science Tech Lab Chief Frederick Quells had designed their uniforms to be waterproof. But Cruz had a feeling Falcon hadn't expected he would have to swim in the thing. In another few minutes, however, that's exactly what he was going to have to do. Closing the collar of his uniform, Cruz felt something scrape the back of his neck. He reached behind him, his fingers closing around a metal tab. That's right. Every explorer's jacket was equipped with 2 critical survivor items: a parachute, which wouldn't help him here, and a flotation device, which most definitely would. Except Cruz. I don't like this. Wasn't sure how to inflate the thing. He could almost hear his advisor, Tyrone Shaw, say, "You'd know what to do if you hadn't grossed over the uniform instruction manual." "I know, Tyrone, I know." Cruz yanked open his belt and unzipped his jacket, wrestling free of the sleeves. He whipped the jacket inside out. He found a small plastic tab near the collar. It was engraved with a P for parachute. "No doubt," Cruz moaned. "I could have really used a label in here to tell me how to activate the flotation device." "Personal flotation device deployment confirmed." The calm female voice startled him. It was Falchion. "Cruz Corando, please prepare for PFD deployment," said Falchion. Her instructions were coming from his OS band. Smart, he should have known. When all else failed, he could count on his OS band for help. "Please firmly secure jacket, pockets, and cuffs. Beginning 10-second countdown sequence now. 10, 9, 8. Hold on." Cruz threw his jacket over his shoulders and shoved his arm into his sleeves. The water was edging past his knees. A current was beginning to form. 6, 5. Cruz yanked the buckles tight on the bottom of each sleeve, then jerked the zipper on the front of his jacket up. 2, 1. PFD deployment commencing. The hem of Cruz's jacket tightened against his hips. His cuffs and collar was sealing too. A sudden rush of air down his back sent a chill through him. Cruz watched His sleeves slowly swelled. As they did, his arms automatically rose from his sides. His chest was puffing up too. His jacket took less than 15 seconds to fully inflate. Trapped inside the bubble of air, he felt like a giant marshmallow. This had better work. The water was still rising. Up. To his hips, his stomach, his ribs. It did. He was buoyant as the floodwaters inched upward. They took Cruz with him. Cruz wasn't sure how far he had fallen into the shaft. He strained, looking for the gap in the rock he had fallen through. Uh-oh, trouble ahead. Cruz was heading for an opening on the opposite side of the cave wall. No, he needed to go up, not down. Kicking hard, he thrashed his arms to move away from the hole. Nothing he did was working. The current was too strong. He was going in. Water went up his nose and down his throat. Cruz came up coughing, trying to spit out water while gulping in air. When he could see again, Cruz realized he was riding the rapids through a narrow tunnel. Of course, this must be a lava tube. The river was powerful and choppy. The swift flow tossed him from one side of the tube to the other. Almost immediately, he felt the force of the water easing up. The water level was dropping too. A few hundred yards downstream, Cruz was able to touch bottom. Dragging his soles, he skidded to a stop on a sandbar. Exhausted, Cruz could only lie on the wet gravel. Hovering. Everything was going in and out of focus. His stomach was demanding food again. His lips were dry. His throat parched. The inside of his head felt like a cotton ball, all fuzzy and soft. He would close his eyes for a minute. 1 minute became 2, 2 became 3. Cruz heard... I hate my phone anymore. A noise. It sounded like static and was coming from his OS band. Let's have some fun. After you've packed the essentials, grab the cool camping stuff. Sure, camping is already a fun way to spend a weekend or a week, but with extra cool gear on the trip, it can be really fun. Check out these gadgets for your next outdoor adventure. Forget everything you knew about headlamps. The Kong Bandicoot, $35 is the coolest light for your noggin. For starters, it's a rechargeable headlamp that's lighter and cheaper than many competitors that use batteries. The Barracuda's silicone housing seamlessly merges the strap, body, and LEDs and stretches to fit everyone. It has 5 modes with 4 brightness levers, each including high power proximity and red, plus a lockout mode and charge indicator. Now you can afford to give up the battery habit. I hate this phone because I don't want to focus. I hate this fucking phone. Make your campsite a true hangout with the Zurich Classic Single Hammock. $35. Perfect for first-time hammock buyers. It's easy and quick to set up and pack up. It's made from parachute-grade neon, measures 9 feet by 4 feet deployed, and has a capacity of 400 pounds. The kit includes tree straps and carabiners, 14 ounces. Find gear here. Gear Guy makes finding information online a snap. Just visit go.boyslife.org/gear guide for links to all the gear shown here. Combining modern and ancient tech, the BioLite Camp Stove 2, $150, burns small sticks or wood pellets to create a portable campfire, and it converts that heat to electricity for charging phones, lights, and other small devices via a USB port. The flames generate enough heat to boil a liter of water in less than 5 minutes. That's fast for a portable wood-burning stove, while the entire unit packs down to the size of a liter bottle. For the ultimate solar-powered charging station. For multiple days of camping, grab a Go Zero Yeti 150 power station Nomad 14 Plus kit, $330. Quiet and tough, the Yeti can be charged by the sun using the Nomad 14 Plus solar panel, a car battery, or a home wall outlet. 2 USB ports and a 12-watt output will charge devices as large as a laptop. The 14-watt Nomad 14 Plus solar panel has a kickstand so you can adjust its angle to the sun, and a solar intensity indicator tells you the angle for maximum recharging. Really cool. The Yeti's auto restart feature kicks the unit back on if it's somehow disconnected without achieving a full charge during the day. 13 pounds, 14.5 ounces. The Outdoor Element Firebender Multi-Tool Carabiner, $15. Put 6 useful tools at your fingertips in a device that weighs only an ounce. A fire starter that produces sparks when you swap a built-in wheel, a bottle opener, a utility blade, a screwdriver, hanging slots, and extra thrower rods for the spark wheel, plus the carabiners ready to hold 100 pounds. Thinking smaller and more affordable, juice up a phone and light up a campsite with the Go Zero Mini Lantern, $40, charged via UPS at home, or solar panels sold separately in camp. The Mini Lantern casts up to 210 lumens from its adjustable lantern and can recharge a phone or other small device. Folding legs and a magnetized base provide options for positioning it. 8 ounces. Thank you for watching this video, and peace out till the next one.